I work at the Office of the President in Mexico. I work in the coordination of national digital strategy, and I'm lead the area of digital innovation. Well, we're very excited because we're creating the national policy on open data. It's our open data initiative. So initially we've worked with a team of statisticians, data scientists, policymakers, and designers to come up with what we call the Datatron. This is specifically an open platform. It's, I guess, an ad infinitum randomized polling system that can help us understand what type of data users are more interested in, and in that way help us classify and prioritize the type of data that we'll be releasing, and then also designing mechanisms for this data to be used towards really specific causes that users are most interested in. We're trying to focus not only on releasing massive sets of data, but also on empowering communities and identifying them to be able to work together to solve issues that can have social impact or even economic growth. It's been an interesting process because it's been 5 days since we've launched this site. It's in a beta process so far, and it's datos.gov.mx. And already there's been discussions spurring around this on specific media, blogs, and channels. I think it's been really useful because it's starting a conversation around the national policy on open data in Mexico. It's raising expectations as well, which is great for us because it can also become an accountability mechanism for us to be able to implement. The first approach was to think of a way that we can get more people participating from the beginning, even before we launched our open data website. This polling system was a very simple way to get users involved in whatever way they wanted to. Those that are most heavy users will go further into the process. It was a very organic process. It's an experiment for us as well. But so far we've received close to 40,000 different results, votes around this system. We have so far identified 500 different data sets. Of course, it's hard for people to go into them all, but it's a random process, so we hopefully with the massive use of different citizens selecting them, we'll get a clearer picture of what type of information can be most useful and valuable towards citizens. We're looking at open data in terms of two specific approaches. One would be trying to identify the demand from the user side. And we've also identified a very specific demand within government itself. Our second method for prioritizing the data we're releasing has been around several interviews with key champions within different agencies that we've had the opportunity to work with to figure out what type of programs that are linked towards national objectives, where we can hopefully find data that can make them implement the programs in a better and more efficient way. With this project, our hope is to get communities to make government more responsible to what they're looking for. So for us, and our responsibility is to develop the open data initiative from the Office of the President, but this is also a great way to use it as a tool to show people inside of government what citizens are looking for. So it's not us, the government, saying this is what you have to open up, but it's a more open and participatory process from the beginning. This process requires a multi-stake approach, and once you get the right people involved, passionate communities, experts around different topics, all around data, you can have and create insights that beforehand couldn't have been possible. I think we also need to approach this through a storytelling angle. which is why I think these types of projects are great. It's hard to measure the types of results that this will happen. There's different levels, and I think there's a big challenge for us in bringing this to a local level where it can be closer to users' needs, and for people to actually realize that this is useful for them. And partly, I think it helps telling stories around data and what it can be useful for.